Welcome back to Rain Check, and let's talk a little Call of Duty and Battlefield 6, man. We got Black Ops 7 releasing this year. We got Battlefield 6 coming out as well. I believe Call of Duty is coming out in November, and then Battlefield's coming out in October, beginning of October, if I'm not mistaken. Some other hitters coming in October as well. Towards the end, we got Arc Raiders, which is my most anticipated extraction shooter, because it's been the one extraction shooter that was able to hit all the points that I think that most extraction shooter folks who are into that type of game are into. Again, me being it from the outside looking in, I could be off base in that, but from at least how the audience took it in, a lot of people seem to be excited about Arc Raiders, so can't wait for that. But back on topic with Battlefield 6 and Black Ops 7, I feel like at some point, because I saw people, and this kind of conversation is stemming off of people saying, "Oh man, what a concept that you can buy both Battlefield 6 and Black Ops 7 and be excited for both." Nobody said that you can't be excited for both. I just dislike when people do that type of shit. Like, we're talking about one thing versus another thing, and people are like, "Oh, why can't you just have both?" Well, duh. I don't think that is a needed conversation, because it's a duh conversation. Like, why does that need to be spelled out? Sure, if you like both, if you got time for both, if you think you're gonna be able to rock with both, then play both. But no, that's not an argument. There's nothing to be said about that. What there is to be said is that Call of Duty doing this annual thing that they continue to do, which I think is not beneficial to Call of Duty. I think, especially from this last time, going from one game to the next, where we were able to carry over all our skins and everything, cosmetics move forward, guns move forward, all that good stuff. Sure, some of that stuff became irrelevant because of how meta is run, right? But to me, doesn't that put that attention back on the dev themselves to say, hey, if you include all this stuff in the game, you need to make sure this stuff is balanced out. You need to make sure it's hitting right. I don't believe Call of Duty being annually the same way I don't believe in sports games being annually. I think it's dumb as hell. Dog, there could be so much more money being made. Not only the money being made, fuck that. That's off to the side, because I feel like that's just an easy thing to just get in a discussion about as well. But as far as like what's going to be good for the consumer in their eyes and what's going to give you the most attention, in the sake of Call of Duty, I think that Call of Duty after this year especially, we're in 2025 right now, I don't think we need to see another Call of Duty until 2028. Give it a 3-year cycle. 2 at least. But I would rather see Call of Duty in a 3-year cycle so that people can live with this game for some time. There are issues that Call of Duty has, whether it be cheating, whether it be balance, whether it be just the overall gameplay, right? That a lot of people have. That I think that if you took the time, instead of focusing and splitting your attention in all these different places, that if you focus down and really said, hey, we need to make this game the best that it can be, that you would end up unlocking some other things because of that. Maybe better security protocols, maybe better balance patches, maybe some better maps, maybe a better campaign. And mind you, Black Ops 7 campaign looks like it might be interesting. Now, after the previous Call of Duty this past year, I'm good. I'm not interested in none of that shit. I'm just not. You missed the boat with me. You saying, oh, this is connected to Black Ops 2 and this, that, and the other thing. Bro, you missed the boat for me on that stuff. I don't care. Call of Duty, I typically do not play Call of Duty for their campaigns. Now, have I enjoyed their campaigns? Yes. I have enjoyed the campaign. But that's not what I'm there for. I'm there as a PvP dude. Most people are in for Call of Duty for the PvP. Battlefield's the same kind of thing. But most people, Battlefield has always been more about you're paying for Battlefield for the multiplayer experience. Now, I get for the people that want the single player experience, and that's why you like to jump into Battlefield when they started doing that stuff like Bad Company 2 and whatnot, great. But not every game from Battlefield I'm expecting to be Bad Company 2, as an example, right? So there's just multifaceted things that get pulled into that. But for me, I think this time around especially, Battlefield 6, the way that I feel coming off of that beta, is more phenomenal than I was even anticipating. And mind you, they got a hill they got to climb as well. But I am more willing to give Battlefield my time, because I know they're not going to release another Battlefield for at least another few years. But I'm willing to give Battlefield my time because, I mean, one, in Zampella we trust. Y'all don't know about Vince Zampella. He's the reason that Call of Duty is even as popular as it is. He's one of the main minds, one of the main dudes that made that shit pop. You know what I'm saying? Moved into Titanfall. He did his thing with Jedi, Fallen Order, and Survivor, which I think are both solid games. The man has some energy behind him. And whatever he brings to the table when he gets around his team, bro, he elevates everybody, and that's what you kind of want to see, right? Battlefield 6 is seemingly elevating the first-person shooter genre with the destruction, with the gunplay, with how everything is kind of playing into each other. Is it perfect? No. Is there games like the Finals, as an example, that also does destruction really well, that are also ex-EA devs, that is a solid experience? Yes. But even the Finals doesn't feel like Battlefield does. Point blank, period. Needless to say, Battlefield 6 and Call of Duty with the Black Ops 7, most people have to make a choice in what game they're going to play. Most people may end up looking at COD and saying, damn, you know, I play this every year. This is what my homies play. I know if I'm familiar with this. No matter what, I'm going to stick it out with this one. Cool. That's what you do. Rock out, bro. But I'm telling y'all, this year is the first time, if any, especially if you played the Battlefield beta. If you didn't play the beta, I can't say too much. You know what I'm saying? Only thing that I can add on, if you haven't played the beta, is wait for Battlefield to come out and decide whether that's going to be for you. Again, Battlefield's going to come out first. So you'll be able to make an educated decision by the time Black Ops 7 comes out, whether that's going to be something that you want to jump into or not. If you have the time and you got the ducats, then sure, get both. But if you're me personally, I think that this is the first year that we actually, as a community, as gamers, make a stand and say, damn, COD, all the things you're speaking to, they're somewhat interesting, but god damn, y'all could have just built off what you had, flushed it out, made it what it needed to be, and would have been in a solid place. Upgrade Warzone, or whatever battle royale you want to do. Rumors are Blackout's supposed to be coming back. They're transforming it again. We'll see. Usually that's what they do when they transfer when they transfer from COD to COD. But it's just, I think this time versus previous, and again, 2042 was decent, was I thought was going to be decent for competition for Call of Duty as well. It came in at a time where COD was kind of down. People were kind of really, I wouldn't say they were in arms about it, but they were on a downturn as far as COD goes. I think this is another opportunity to where, because of all the cheating and all the issues that people have had, where COD is seemingly on another downturn. And it can only be Battlefield that makes Call of Duty look at itself and say, damn, what do we truly need to work on? Again, if COD if COD continues to do this annual thing, and people continue to support the same way that people support these sport games, get all these packs, get all these ultimate teams and everything else, then you end up being part of that problem, right? For the sake of wanting better experience, for the sake of wanting better games, and for the sake of asking for better from the companies, especially when you're looking at, I'm playing similar shit every year. Like, oh wow, you're changing movement mechanics again this year, and I can jump off of shit. Like, I'm not really looking for that this year. I'm just not. That's kind of my thoughts on it overall. Again, if you're someone choosing between Battlefield and Call of Duty, again, a lot of people have to make a choice on a day-to-day basis for the entertainment, on what they do in their form of entertainment or their hobby and the things that they enjoy. You got to make a choice most days, right? For what you got time for. I don't think that most people are going to have time to play both games, which opens the door for, I would say I'd put my money on Battlefield this year. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, still rain. It's another rain check for you. Just something that was on my mind because I saw people talking about it and we having some good conversations. So I wanted to bring it here. What y'all thinking, man? Y'all doing Battlefield? Y'all doing COD? Or you doing both, man? With that, much love. Still rain at Teaser 7.